everyone, we're back, and today we're going to talk about the second great suffix rule. Our first great suffix rule was the doubling rule, and we knew that when we had a short one-syllable word with a short vowel and one final consonant, we had to double that final consonant when we added suffixes that started with vowels. Otherwise, our vowel would turn long. This is going to be a similar pattern. We are still worried about when we add suffixes that begin with vowels. This time, the pattern is called chop and drop. Let's take a look. If we have a word that ends with a magic E, that magic E is making our previous vowel long. When we have a suffix, so my word is biked, and I want to add a suffix that means it happened in the past. Last week, I biked to school. Watch what happens if I just slide these two morphemes together. What did I do? You're right. I just created E side by side, and I know that when I have E side by side, it makes the vowel team E, right? And so this would actually say by keyed. So this pattern says when I have a word that ends with a magic E or a silent E, and I add a suffix that begins with a vowel, I must chop and drop the magic E before I add the suffix. This says biked. Let's look at another one. If I have the word hike and I want to add the suffix like someone who does it, so a hiker is someone who hikes. If I slide these together, I've just actually made the word hiker, right? So what I need to do is I need to chop and drop the magic E. If I chop and drop this magic E before I add the suffix, now I've spelled hiker. So one more, if I have the word save and I want to add ing, I'm going to be saving for a new car. If I just slide these two together, I've made EI, which is a vowel team that we haven't learned, and it can represent the sound A, like in the number 8. So this would say saving. And I don't want it to be saving, I want to be saving. So I chop and drop the silent E before I add a suffix. So reading these words is usually not very tricky because normally we automatically can read and kind of decipher that pattern in play. But there are a couple of weird patterns. So let's take a look at these two words. These two words look very similar, but they're completely different. The base word of the top word is stare. I am going to stare at you. But I added the suffix ed as it happened in the past. What did I need to do? You're right. I chopped and dropped so I didn't have an unwanted vowel team. But now let's look at this second word. This second word's base was actually star. And in this pattern, I added the suffix that began with a vowel, and I needed to double my final consonant so that it wouldn't make my vowel long. This word is stared. This word is starred. So as we're reading, we do need to tune in and make sure that we're reading correctly based on whether the consonant is doubled or we've done the chop and drop of the final magic E. So do we always need to chop and drop? The answer is no. In fact, when our suffix begins with a consonant instead of a vowel, then we need to keep the magic E. Let's take a look at why. If my base word is care, and I want to add the suffix full, if I just slide them together, this word is careful. But if I chop and drop the E, then what did I just write? Carful. So I need to keep that magic E in order to keep my previous vowel long when a suffix ends in a consonant. Let's look at another one. If I have the word time and I add the suffix less, this would say timeless. Fancy black dresses are timeless. If I chop and drop, then what did I just spell? I just spelled timless. And timless and timeless are not the same. Okay, let's now encode or spell some words that have the chop and drop rule. If you have a morpheme template, like I do, take it out now. If not, a whiteboard will work just as well. This is really a good template because it will help us actually see the prefix, the suffix, and the base so we know what we need to do next. Let's add the word baking. I'm going to be baking you a birthday cake. What is the base word of baking? You're right. The base word is bake. Write the word bake in the base word box. This is a free base because it can stand alone and make sense all by itself. If I want to add the suffix ing, I add suffix in the suffix ing in the suffix box. Notice if I just slide these two together, I'm going to create an unwanted vowel team. So what do I need to do? I need to chop and drop the magic E before adding the suffix. And the word baking is spelled like this. Let's try just a couple more. How about if I have the word timer? I'm going to set the timer for the cake that I am baking you. What is the base word? Time. Go ahead and write time in your base word box. And my suffix er means something or someone who does it. So this is something that keeps time. And notice that if I just slide these two together, it would say timer. So I need to chop and drop. And this is the word timer. When we're adding suffixes to base words, we always want to start with thinking about the base word first. And then we think about the suffix we're adding and how adding that suffix might change the vowel sound or might create an unwanted vowel team. Good luck this week, and I'll see you next week for our final suffix rule.